Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. This is your average guy, John Corelli, with his crooked glasses, saying good morning to you, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you choose to watch. I appreciate you watching, and I'm going to continue with the nut job of the day thing until it peters out. I think this one's an obvious one, but he's back in the news. He's always in the news because he runs the economy. Jeff Bezos, for those of you that don't know, well, first of all, let's talk about who he is. That, if you don't know that, I'm shocked that you don't know that. He just surpassed the 200 billion mark, by the way, billion with a B. Imagine how well you off you would be if you had 200 just million, or even 200,000. That's not a bad amount of money to have if you have everything else set up in your life. But 200 billion, it's almost an unfathomable amount. But yeah, he just surpassed that Friday, and today is Saturday. So, and it's funny because all I did was Google Jeff. He just Googled Jeff, and the first thing that comes up, Jeff Bezos net worth. Boom. At least in my, maybe I've checked it before, and that's why it came up on my phone that way. But yeah, so he's running stuff, okay. And the reason he gets nut job of the day is he had the audacity to come out and put out an op-ed piece in his own newspaper, a newspaper, yeah, that he owns, the Washington Post, and said, "Don't soak the rich." By the way, he's not rich. He's fucking wealthy. I should look and see what kind of countries are worth 200 billion. Probably most of the countries on this planet aren't worth 200 billion dollars. So, that reminded me of a funny Chris Rock bit he said a while back. The difference between wealthy and rich. Okay, and he said Shaquille O'Neal is rich because Shaquille O'Neal back then had signed a mega contract when he was still playing basketball. It was like worth 125 million dollars. And he said, yeah, that's there. He said, and his argument was there are no wealthy black people. Now back then, probably not, but you could make. There are a few. There are six, six out of 2,100 billionaires on the planet. Six are black, which goes back to race and economic equality. But that's not what I came here to talk about as much. Um, so anyway, rich and wealthy. But so Chris Rock said, uh, Shaquille O'Neal's rich. The white man that writes the checks, he's wealthy, and that's exactly true, and that's what it is. And so, I didn't read the op-ed piece because once you see the title of it, the caption says, "Don't soak billionaires" or "Don't soak the rich," something like that. I may have misread it, but it didn't say. I know it didn't say wealthy on there, which is exactly what he is, and all billionaires are at this point. And I know what it's going to say. It's going to be the same old trickle down economics, trickle down economics, um, job creator bullshit. Now, yeah, you can make an argument that yeah, Amazon has created jobs. However, you can also make the same argument that they have also crushed people, just like Walmart did. It's funny when Walmart comes out, and I laugh about this because Walmart has done this. I've seen the ads. The community. Walmart is part of your community. No, Walmart crushed the community and killed all the mom and pop shops so they could have one big mega store and then claim, oh, well, we're making a bunch of jobs. Yeah, because people that you put out of work need jobs now. So I want to put into perspective $200 billion and the folly and the absolute hubris of saying, well, I shouldn't get taxed very high. Did a little research on Warren Buffett. If you don't know who he is, he's old, but he was one of the first like really hardcore investors, and showed how you could make millions or billions in his case by investing well. And once again, I honestly, if my socialist leftist heart thinks there shouldn't even be that, we shouldn't even have a stock exchange and stocks and bonds, maybe bonds, but stocks. That is only encouraging this type of economy to step on the backs of the very, very poor, the people who work in sweatshops on the other side of this planet, and then invest invest in suffering of humanity, so we can just kick back and watch our stock prices go up and retire well. It's kind of gross. Having said that, I'm on the good side of that. I can't complain. but I at least see it for what it is. You know, I do see that, hey, I'm in a great place. Like I said, I'm in my parents' backyard. They own their home. When they die, I hopefully will end up with this home, and hopefully my brother will move in. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off track. Let's talk about Bezos some more, and how do we get to that rarefied strata of wealth? He's the first person to become to hit 200 billion for his worth, and it's like I think honestly, guys, they don't get it. They don't get it. Guys, billionaires, especially people with 200 billion, they don't understand how the rest of us live. They can relate to a person like me that generally has to work every day and has to go out and live a normal, what I call American or probably European life. You go out once a week, you get your groceries, you work, you come home, you watch TV, you spend time with your kids, you do fun stuff on the weekend. That's my typical life. That's most, I would say, middle class white Americans and middle class white Europeans' life, and black too. I mean, generally, if you're in a first world country, no matter what color you are, what your race is, that's kind of your life. They don't understand that. You think Jeff Bezos goes to the grocery store? He's eating iguana. I saw a picture of him eating iguana. It was weird and creepy. But these guys, do you think he's ever set foot in a grocery store? If he has, it was years and years ago, before he even owned Amazon. It was just a bookstore. Okay, so I think they can relate to us about as well as we relate to like a Bushman. Or an Aboriginal indigenous person in Africa or Australia, where we just like they have to hunt for their food, or they have to jog 12 miles to go to school, or they have to walk 5 miles to get a fucking clean glass of drinking water. We can't relate to that because we haven't lived that. And those guys that are up here, those 100 billionaires, they can't relate to us either. They're like, what's a grocery store? What's a fucking grocery? All I know is I ask for food and it shows up right here in front of me, whatever food I want. I wanted lobster. Lobster showed up because he has all those things in place due to his enormous wealth that lobster can just show up. So it's a crazy stratified air they're in. But I think the fact that they ignore the economy and don't give a shit about the rest of us is disturbing and wrong. I know I've quoted this before, and this is true. Like I say, there's about 2,100 billionaires on the planet. That's not a lot, but there are 73,000 homeless people for every billionaire. That's a lot. Haven't done the math, but just multiply 2,100 times 73,000. It's millions and millions of homeless people. By the way, Bezos could take half his money, just take half of it, and he could feed the planet. That's literal numbers. He took 100 million, somehow got by on the other 100 billion. I said million because billion is still hard for me to say and even comprehend. If he just took half of his money, he could probably solve the homeless crisis, and he could probably solve world hunger. But maybe in his heart he knows those things have to exist for him to exist and his buddies to exist. I mean, I imagine it's got to be like Eyes Wide Shut. If you've ever seen that movie, there's an insane scene where Tom Cruise sort of gets into this inner circle of people of power, judges and lawyers and politicians, and there's a big fuck party. Just wearing masks, and it's a big fuck party. And I can only imagine the boredom that has to go on when you're at that level of wealth. Eventually you've done everything, right? You've had all the weird sex, and this is why I call it Nutjob of the day. People respect that type of wealth, but let's be honest, he came up with a model. Okay, he came up with some sort of model. He once again, almost every billionaire on this planet, maybe except for Oprah, has inherited their money and then smartly, I will admit, done something smart with it to vault themselves into that billionaire status. But like Donald Trump inherited millions. So did Bezos, and he inherited, and he started Amazon. He started this wonderful bookstore, and then it became multimedia. Next thing you know, you can just go on the computer and shop wherever you want. And so, having said that, this is true. Beginning of the year, it's my own little. It's eyedropper on the forest fire. That's all it is. Me, I'm not buying Amazon anymore. I'm not doing it. Even Target and Walmart feel like community compared to Amazon. I'm trying to stay out of those stores too, though. Generally, at my age, I've got everything I need, so it's easier for me to just say that. But any product I really, really want, I'll check secondhand. And if I have to, I will go to Target. I won't go to Walmart. It's gross. But so I don't know if I really said a lot about Bezos specifically, but there is a mentality and mindset to that type of wealth and to hang on to that wealth and to rationalize that wealth when so many other people are poor and suffering. One more thing I wanted to add. I did comedy last night downtown. It's a tent city. It's a tent city downtown. You owe it to your downtown area to go there and see how many homeless people are living there, because it's an insane number right now. All right, talk to you guys later. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye.